Peace, love, and prosperity. Your favorite independent podcaster here, Willmatic TV, reminding you that everybody can't go, but everybody is welcome. The E.B.C.G is a non-discriminatory platform. Everything discussed, disseminated, divulged, and dissected are for the sole purposes of entertainment. Enjoy the show.
Willmatic TV.
Fell asleep watching Sports Center. Woke up on some shit. Gotta appreciate the greats. Got them screaming encore. They just want more. Black mama. Got them screaming encore. They just want more. Yeah, who you know did it like Cole, 60 to go. That's some cold shit, call it 60 below. I mean, he play like he got ice in his veins. Shoot it in your face from far, man, that boy gotta be nice at the range. I talked with him twice at the games. Once had to trade it on video. I say we had a nice little exchange of words. He said you gotta come and spice up the game, say word. Kobe giving me advice is insane, absurd. Your favorite player you watch slice through the lane. It's putting you on the game and the price of this fame. These are things that let you know that your life's gonna change. And that shit stuck in your head like a knife in your brain. See, back then, I just wanted ice in my chain. Some sneakers, some jerseys, some flights on a plane. I mean, I was getting money, started pricing little things. Chasing all the girls, didn't have a wifey to explain.
Cheer. Willmatic, E.B.C.G, Everybody Can Go podcast. I truly do appreciate you all for tuning in. Episode 55, special episode, we got a lot going on. I feel like for my last 2 consecutive episodes, so my last episode I've recorded on a Sunday. I definitely recorded my last episode on a Sunday. And that was Grammy weekend, obviously. We had a lot going on. It was real chaotic trying to record, and I had 13 different tabs open on my damn browser, just trying to go back and forth and get the news in real time. And it was a mess, right? I edited the episode, put it out. Very, very pleased with the last episode. I feel like low-key my last episode might be, that's in my top 3 right there. I'm not even gonna hold you. Last episode is definitely, that's high up in the catalog for the Everybody Can't Go podcast, Back like I never left, episode 55. And I don't think I missed yet. This might be my best episode. I feel like every time you go in as a podcaster, all podcasters, right? We kind of all have our notes. You know what I'm saying? You might have a couple web browsers open, you know what I'm saying? A couple of joints up on the screen or whatever the case may be. But the reality of the situation is you still got to get on the microphone and perform, right? So you can have all of those things, but at the end of the day, if you don't have the passion and if you don't have the dedication for the craft, it's going to bleed over the microphone. And at the end of the day, one of the things that I try to do every time that I come on this microphone is I try to give you guys a quality product, right? So it doesn't matter if you tuned in and you in Rwanda. Shout out to all of the listeners in Rwanda, because apparently the E.B.C.G is international. I might be international E.B.C.G. Like, I'm just saying, fam, like the merch, when I actually do start to develop and grow as a brand, and I definitely feel like I don't know, man, merch and different things like that. I just have some ideas. That's all I'm saying, fam. Just stay tuned. Be on the lookout. The E.B.C.G merch. We might have a spring line this for 2024. I might be working on something. Listen, fam. You don't know what I'm up to. I don't know what I'm up to, fam. But in all seriousness, though, that is something that I have been basically thinking about, just expansion, right? What's another way to basically get your product out there without, basically having to, you have to use different avenues, right? And there's so many different ways to approach it. I feel like I'm jumping all over the place. I feel like I'm jumping ahead of where I need to be. I feel like I barely introed the episode. It's definitely Super Bowl Sunday at the time of recording. So, that's February 11th. Oh, yeah, and by the way, this episode is absolutely brought to you courtesy of, unofficially brought to you courtesy of FanDuel Sportsbook. That's right. You can head on over to FanDuel Sportsbook right now and place your bets down on any, of the two teams that we have in the Super Bowl today. We got the Kansas City Chiefs and we got the San Francisco 49ers. Now, let me go ahead and just let y'all know how this thing is going to go, right? Because, I know they got their different, it's different people who have different prize picks. You got different. I ain't really rocking with prize picks right now, right? And that's like a whole story that I don't even really feel like getting into right now, right? Because I'm trying to intro the episode. I'm in intro mode right now. I'm not in story mode quite yet. So let me go ahead and put that. Let me see if I could, we'll have to put a bookmark there. And we'll get back to that later on in the episode. But me and prize picks, we not really seeing eye to eye right now. I ain't really seeing eye to eye with any of these apps right now. Yeah. I've been on a really, really bad losing streak. However, I say all that to say this. You got to keep hope alive, man. You got to keep hope alive, and you got to stay positive. You got to stay consistent, and you have to put a bet down on Travis Kelce for at least 2 touchdowns. I don't really know what's going to happen. Like I said, I don't really even have, outside of the opportunity to basically make money off of the backs of, other people, what I'm saying, who basically don't owe me a penny, right? My interest in the game of football doesn't really stretch any further than the parlays at this point, and that sounds horrible. It does. Like, damn, you don't even really. These guys are going out there and they sacrificing. Well, listen, I got to get up in the morning and I got a damn job too, fam. I'm making sacrifices every day. Every hour, fam. I'm getting paid hourly, fam. I'm pretty sure the sacrifices that I have to make. I say all that to say this. I don't really have any predictions as far as, Super Bowl win. Listen, man, you got the Chiefs, you got the if I was a betting man, which I am, I would go with the Kansas City Chiefs personally, but I didn't do any of those. I kind of, like I said, I'm all over the place with it. Like I got different, bets spread out or whatever the case may be. We didn't even acknowledge basically the top of the episode, right? So obviously we started this thing off and salute to Fab, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. FABOLOUS. You know what I'm saying? Fab definitely introed the episode with that Mamba freestyle, and that's one of Fab's best tracks, realistically, right? All we missing is that classic though, man. If we just could get that same energy, those same intentions on a full project. Obviously Fab is incredible artist, multi-talented. He put out that Black Mamba freestyle, and I mean, listen, man, those words resonate so heavy, especially this week. Obviously, we're in a very celebratory mood. We're coming off of that, the huge celebration for Kobe Bryant. Yeah, absolutely. 2 episodes in a row. I feel like it's only right. I feel like I said, fam, listen, endless, tribute and flowers for Kobe Bryant, Gianna Bryant, Marissa, John, Kerry, Altabelli, Sarah Payton Chester, Christina Mauser, and Ara Zabayan. Okay? I don't know how to pronounce the name, and that's the reason why I try not to, I usually don't say the pilot's name because I just don't know how to pronounce his name. Then I also do feel like you're kind of responsible. Like, I still haven't really gotten really over basically how I feel about the pilot and basically what actually happened and what mistake was made and if this was even a mistake at this point, right? Here at the E.B.C.G podcast, we want to continue to give flowers and honor Kobe Bryant. They recently just put up a statue outside of the crypto.com arena. It was obviously a huge memorial, a huge celebration. I believe they held a private ceremony initially, and then later on they did the public viewing. And I mean, I obviously I watched it. It was amazing. We had who we had there, man. We had Jeannie Buss, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Phil Jackson, obviously Vanessa Bryant, and Derek Fisher. All kind of took the stage to say their piece and speak their words about Kobe. Derek Fisher absolutely gave an amazing speech. Now I know that was his ace Boone Coon, right? That was his ace in the hole. That was his right hand man. That was basically his Scottie Pippen, right? Like, I mean, respectfully, I say this respectfully. Derek Fisher was Kobe Bryant's Scottie Pippen, so. Obviously, we know that their relationship was super, it was a lot of locker room conversations had and just a lot of conversations in general. So when I listened to how Derek Fisher went up there and I'm not gonna, it sounded like you heard Kobe is basically what I'm trying to say, right? Amazing. He spoke, amazing words. Everybody that went up there pretty much, had amazing things to say. Vanessa Bryant, I feel like she had probably like the highlight on stage as far as, she basically made it clear, like, listen, fam, this statue, this pose that we about to reveal, like, before anybody says anything, before you bloggers, before Stephen A. Smith, and not Stephen A. Smith specifically, because Stephen A. Smith, he's respectful when it comes to Kobe and Vanessa, right? But any of you journalists, fam, if any of y'all want to critique, or this is a pose that Kobe chose, right? And she basically just let it be known, like, this was his choice and this was, his selection, right? So if anybody got a problem with it, tough shit is what she actually said, right? You know what I'm saying? And so that was just dope. It was just dope to see her up there, receiving, the love for Kobe. And obviously it's bittersweet, right? We never gonna kind of be able to like live down the fact that, and I feel like they said this up there, right? That it's kind of just like, damn, you kind of wanted to see Kobe and Gigi sitting there in the front row, basically like how we seen them sitting in the front row at the Lakers games and shit. You know what I'm saying? This is actually the first of 3 statues, right? So this is the first revealing. I'm not sure Kobe exactly when the other 2 statues will be revealed, if they haven't already, right? I'm not sure if they're gonna do it basically the same way they did the first one. Is it gonna be televised, or are there gonna be more speakers, more guests? I feel like they should do that for all 3 of them personally, right? I watch this every time they do a tribute for Kobe. I'm trying to be, in attendance in some way, shape, or form. Obviously, I couldn't make it to Cali, to actually be there in the physical. But, I'm going to be tuned in, right? Listen, man, if they do it again, I feel like they should do it again, and they should bring, there's so many people I feel like that want to pay tribute to Kobe and Gigi and, all of the victims that were on the helicopter. Yeah, you can get a different group of people every time. I feel like that would be dope. We get Shaq the next time around, you get you probably get AI up there. AI gonna go up there and cry. You know what I'm saying? Just like I'm trying to not do right now. And it's so unfortunate that as I'm sitting here and I'm speaking about and I'm reflecting about, the legacy, obviously we kind of know what took place and how this kind of ended. unfortunately, there's a story that I'm seeing here on Forbes, on Forbes.com. And this is a story in regards to the co-founder of Nigeria's largest bank being among 6 people who unfortunately were killed in a California helicopter crash. So this is something that is literally mirroring. It's a very, very similar situation, and it's kind of eerie. I'm only bringing this up because it's something that I'm seeing in real time. Herbert Wigwe, I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly. Pardon the mispronunciation if I didn't. But he was the co-founder of the largest bank in Nigeria, was among 6 people killed in a helicopter crash in California. This took place and occurred on Friday. Okay. So this is devastating, right? And we know how we've seen this movie before. And the fact that we were speaking about Kobe, I just felt like I would mention. So what is this? EC-130 helicopter crash near Nipton, California on Friday night with 6 people on board. The Federal Aviation Administration said that the FAA and the National Traffic Safety Board are investigating. The San Bernardino County's Sheriff's Office reported that no survivors have been located. So in other words, this is a devastating, tragedy, right? That we've kind of seen before, and unfortunately, we're seeing it again. Right. I'm not 100% familiar with who this gentleman is. Obviously, like I said, we've seen this situation play out before. And I do feel like it's unfortunate. That man was on there with his wife and his daughter. Yeah, definitely. I definitely want to. I plan on getting out to Cali. To see that statue. Like I said, it's the first of 3. 19 feet, and it weighs 4,000 pounds. And obviously, it's the bronze. It's a bronze sculpture paying tribute to Kobe Bryant's historic 81-point game against the Toronto Raptors. So it's, after the game when he pointed up, after he dropped that 81 off. Phil Jackson had some interesting stories up there as well. I didn't really, it's kind of hard to sit through Phil Jackson speaking about anything. If you ever heard him speak, it's kind of like, that's not really, I was getting flashbacks to social studies class or some shit. Like, it was kind of like cringy, right? It was a tough listen, but he did have some interesting stories, and he definitely threw a shot at Jalen Rose. When he basically was talking about how Kobe dropped him off. But yeah, man, yeah. So, listen, man, the Mamba tape is out as well. I've been promoting that for like 3 weeks, right? So yeah, the Mamba tape is out. Go ahead and check that out, on the YouTube. Link in the bio. Where we at? We got some stuff to get to. Obviously, like I said, my last episode that I recorded was recorded during Grammy weekend. It was actually recorded during Grammy night on Sunday, right? So it's Sunday, Superbowl Sunday now at the time of recording, which means that I am approximately 7 days. Sunday might be my day, for real. And I'm starting to really, it's starting to really just feel like Sunday might just be my day because, I never wanted to come out the gate and make the mistake to, put myself on the schedule, right? I don't work for anybody, right? This is mine. I own this. Why would I put myself, I'm trying to get away from the schedule, right? I'm trying to get out of the matrix and shit, right? How I'm going to start a podcast and then put myself back in the matrix, right? So I said to myself out the gate, fam, like, yo, check this out, fam. There is no schedule for the E.B.C.G. This the Everybody Can't Go podcast. This the people's podcast, and I do this for the people. But at the same time, the people don't own me, fam. I don't work for nobody, and I'm going to do this whenever I want to do this. Now, granted, there's pros and cons to that. Because, listen, sometimes I might feel like I ain't really get what I needed to get off on the last episode, and I might spin the block 2 days later, fam. So not being on the schedule doesn't necessarily mean I'm not going to give y'all episodes every month. You know what I'm saying? There's not going to be that much of a gap in between the episodes, you know. I mean, not right now anyway. Listen, in the beginning it was tough. I'm not going to lie. I had to figure some things out. Definitely had some bumps and bruises along the way. Cases and things like this, a lot of different distractions. I feel like now I'm at a point, I say all that to say this. I do feel like I'm at a point now where it does feel like I could probably go on a schedule. I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but if I do choose to do it, that's something to, you know, kind of keep in mind. You know what I'm saying? So all of my viewers and all of my listeners out in Rwanda and Ireland right now, you know what I'm saying? Listen, I hope this is not gonna be too much of an issue for anybody's schedule. I don't really know what everybody's schedule is, but I'm just saying you could definitely look forward to the Everybody Can't Go podcast every week, you know what I'm saying, or so, right? And then if it's longer, then I'm gonna hit y'all with a 3-hour episode. You know what I'm saying? The episode just gonna be longer, and I'm just gonna have to give y'all more, right? That's kind of what I did with the last episode, to be honest. So I didn't really give a full Grammy recap, right? I feel like I'm low-key late. I feel like I heard at least 3 or 4 podcasts. I mean, obviously, listen, we already kind of know what took place and what occurred. I mean, yeah, you know, we had a lot of... Taylor Swift had a big win. You know, you had Tracy Chapman. She had an incredible performance with the guitar, you know. After a brief break, it was red carpet time again. Hollywood, you know, showed up at the, you know, 66th annual Grammy Awards. SZA definitely, you know, picked up a win. Air horn for SZA. Hold on, let me get my air horn off for SZA. You know what I'm saying? TDE, absolutely. Obviously, Taylor Swift won. You know, we kind of just assumed that Taylor Swift wasn't going to show up to the Grammys and not leave with a Grammy, right? She won for Album of the Year, right? Which, you know, that's a whole conversation and debate that, you know, we're going to get to that. Billy Joel, listen, all of the stars were there, fam. But no star shined brighter than hip-hop. And obviously, if you're going to have the Grammys and if hip-hop, listen, you can't, hip-hop is going to steal the goddamn show every time, fam. And obviously, you know, it was a lot of talk surrounding, salute to Victoria Monet as well. She won a Grammy as well. I don't want to leave her out, you know. She definitely won for Best New Artist, you know, which is a big deal. Travis Scott, he definitely performed. Unfortunately, he didn't, you know, win a Grammy, which, you know, that obviously is, you know what I mean, that sparked a whole conversation. And, you know what I'm saying, you kind of got the young, it's basically new school versus the old school. That's kind of basically the conversation, or, you know, the stance that's kind of been taken on the internet, right? We seen conversations on the Joe Budden podcast, and obviously, you know, we have the streaming community. You got Aiden Ross over there, who, you know, I'm not so familiar with. Obviously, I know the name, and I could probably put the face with the name at this point. I feel like there's so many clips of this kid on the internet. But realistically, I can't necessarily say that I'm in tune with Aiden Ross and what he does. I know that there's a whole streaming world, right? And there's all of these different, basically, characters, right? It's like a video game. You got all of these different characters doing different streams, and everybody brings their different, you know, skill set, or their, you know, set of moves, right? That their created character has, you know, to their stream. I say all that to say this. Joe Budden is kind of basically speaking up for the side of like, yeah, Killer Mike, hip hop, old school, the purist, the craft, and not for nothing. I mean, a guy who kind of pretty much worked his ass off to, you know, put out a body of work, you know, that was basically sufficient enough to be nominated, let alone win a Grammy, right? Now, personally, and I don't want to go back to the last episode. I already spoke on this. Y'all kind of already know my stance on how I feel about the Killer Mike album that, his most recent body of work. I felt like it was a good album, but I didn't necessarily feel like there was anything specifically to kind of like, there was no wow moments for me, right? There was really no wow moments. It was a good album. It was produced, it was mixed, it was mastered, it was great. Do I feel like he should have won the Grammy? Well, let's look at the categories and who he was nominated up against. So you got Travis Scott. For, what was Her Loss, 21 Savage? Listen, fam, there was some good albums in there. I get it. I didn't really, the 21 Savage Drake album kind of went over my head personally, right? So if it was just those two, I would have went with the Killer Mike over that, right? All right, so then we got Utopia. Now, Utopia, okay. I don't really feel like it's that far off as far as sonically from the Killer Mike album, right? Obviously, Travis Scott, Utopia was a, highly anticipated album. And, obviously there was a whole situation that occurred at one of his shows. And, a lot of people didn't really think, they were going to really get that album, basically, right? So when he finally dropped it, it was kind of a big deal. And I get it. He was getting banned in Egypt. Travis Scott is kind of, listen, he's like a rebel out here, fam. I guess he only came to perform because he assumed he was going to win, right? Because from what it looked like, fam, it didn't even really look like he wanted to do the performance for real, right? There's obviously this viral clip of him basically smashing the Grammy set. Basically like what they would do at one of his shows, right? You got this mosh pit and all of these different things that these, it's the young generation, man. They jump up in the crowd and they bang into each other. They do all this stuff. They leave bleeding. The ambulance coming, pulling people out. It's a goddamn zoo at these shows and these festivals and shit. He went up to the Grammys and did it turned it into a festival. He was smashing the goddamn guitar and I'm just not really sure. Like, in other words, is that his way of saying like? I guess he feels like he was slighted. I don't really have any horses in the race here, so it's kind of hard for me to really even take a stance, let alone really care, right? I feel like Killer Mike won the album of the year, and you can't go back and redo it, is what I'm saying, right? So it's kind of just like anybody that's really still kind of, if this is something that actually offended you, and if this is something that you're actually allowing to, I just don't really see it as a big deal. It's definitely a big deal for Killer Mike though, and we gonna go ahead and air horn him up. Absolutely, air horn for Killer Mike, because at the end of the day, listen, Killer Mike been out here doing this for a long time, fam. And like I said, I might not have enjoyed his most recent body of work. And if I'm being honest, I don't really have that many. I don't really know any Killer Mike albums necessarily. But I know he got some verses and he got some tracks and features specifically, right? Obviously, listen, Outkast. You know what I'm saying? He got a lot of classic verses on a lot of classic joints, right? Run the Jewels, Killer Mike is a legend, right? Specifically more in the South, though. I feel like he's one of those artists. He's one of those artists from the South who didn't necessarily break through and translate to the States, right? Like the Outkast did and Ludacris and, some of those other guys, right? So he's kind of one of those guys that I'm pretty sure that if you go to Atlanta, you probably going to hear Killer Mike cuts and slaps that you never heard in your life, basically, right? He's probably revered and held in a different light out there. I'm sure he is, right? He got 3 Grammys now. He also got arrested at the Grammys and,
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Hip-hop, listen, come on, man. Like I said, fam, realistically, you invited me. My name is Killer Mike, fam. Like, when you really think about it, this is a 50-year-old damn near man calling himself Killer Mike, fam. Like, it's Killer Mike at the Grammys. Like, did you not expect for somebody to get what? I'm not even really sure what happened. I'm hearing different reports about security, and he got into some type of altercation or skirmish with security, and there's no real details surrounding it. I'm assuming that Killer Mike knows how to handle himself in a physical altercation, and I'm not really sure what transpired, but what the end result was Killer Mike was handcuffed. So they arrested Killer Mike at the Grammys. He beat up the security guard. And listen, fam, listen. It's about, I feel like he low-key, he did that for all of the years that he got snubbed, low-key. I feel like he went there with intentions to basically beat somebody up, fam. He probably didn't really think he was going to win. Did the skirmish happen before or after he won his Grammy? I would assume after, right? Because if it happened before, then, I mean, he could have blew his whole, they could have flipped the whole damn program on him and pulled they could have did what they did to Nicki Minaj. I mean, from what I heard, listen, and I'm going off docket, but from what I heard, apparently the Grammys they can kind of change the results the night of now. Like they change the results in real time now, fam. Nicki Minaj was scheduled or announced or predicted or, she won. She won the Grammy. They put it on the Grammy page. It was a whole thing. Like, they announced her as a winner for I believe it was for, I'm not 100% sure what the category was, but I believe it was for a song and performance she had with Ice Spice, right? Is it Barbie Girl or Barbie World? Whatever that track is. I'm trying not to shit on it like the Grammys did, right? I don't remember the name of the song, but I know it was a pretty big fucking deal, right? All of the goddamn Barbs was outside playing it. It was a big deal, right? For that community. She won the Grammy, but for some reason there was apparently there was a mistake, right? And even sometimes the Grammys, like who's there to, like, who plays the Grammy music for the Grammys? Like when the Grammys is doing something crazy, right? Like they play the Grammy music, they cut people off. You embarrass people on that stage, fam. People who have been waiting to win this goddamn overrated trophy. You cutting me off. You playing the pianos and the violins over me while I'm talking. I'm not done making my point. Let me elaborate a little bit more. So, like, I'm just saying, like, who's basically there to check the Grammys when the Grammys don't know what they doing? Apparently, the Grammys, they get the awards all right. It's always something wrong. I mean, it's just, this is what it is, man. This is just kind of what it is, and we just kind of have to just accept that this is what we're gonna get from the Grammys now. And I'm at a point now where I don't really have expectations from the Grammys. I just feel like it's just a show that comes on every year, once a year. And it's just that's just pretty much how far it goes for me. Obviously, I understand the significance of the Grammy when it comes to, business and opening opportunities and doors and, basically just putting you on a higher plateau financially in the entertainment industry. But at the same time, I feel like, and obviously, we getting ready to get into, obviously, Jay-Z. He went up there and, he won. Obviously, he won an award, right? Jay-Z actually won the Lifetime Achievement Award. I'm not sure exactly. Let me pull this up. I don't want to botch this, right? Because this is pretty much it was a pretty big goddamn deal, right? Or was it? Right? And the reason why I don't know the name of it is because I don't really, like I just said, I'm not lying when I say I don't have any real expectations from the Grammys. I don't look at this as something that, when they announced they're gonna do a Kobe statue, that's, what I'm saying? I'm there, right? You got me there for that, right? I'm gonna get my ticket if I can. But the Grammy thing to me is just kind of like, this is like a thing of the past, low key, and this is like, it's antiquated. This is like a ritual. It's like, what are we actually doing here, right? Blue Ivy takes the stage with Dad Jay-Z. I actually seen Blue Ivy and Jay-Z in person. I could actually say I checked that off. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get to really meet him, but we was on the same block, right? We was in the same vicinity, fam. He heard my voice and I heard his. I digress. We talking about the Grammys here. We talking about Jay-Z, who went on stage to accept his Dr. Dre Global Impact Award. So not Lifetime Achievement Award, but obviously adjacent. That's something I feel like Global Impact Award and Lifetime Achievement Award, they kind of just remixed, you know what I'm saying, the Lifetime Achievement Award. But during the Sunday show, you know, Jay-Z, during his acceptance speech, took it upon himself to call out the Grammys for past snubs of his wife's music. More specifically, you know, album of the year. Now, like I said, this is the thing. I'm not 100% sure and I'm not 100% clear on the significance of a new artist basically on the come up, right? A new artist on the come up, you know, basically trying to make their name, you know, in music. I can understand more why that artist would feel the way that Jay-Z went up there and kind of, you know, he basically spoke up for Beyonce, which at this point, realistically, does Beyonce need anybody to speak up for her at this point? I just feel like at this point, Beyonce is big enough to speak up for herself. You know what I'm saying? Like, Beyonce is big enough to actually go up on the Grammy stage herself, take the microphone from anybody that's up there. Taylor Swift, who was up there? Miley Cyrus, any one of y'all little pop chicks, fam. Beyonce is big enough to speak up for herself, is what I'm trying to say. I don't really feel like we need to see, you know, we had Kanye do it in the past, and obviously Kanye. So I feel like he was just going to do that. He was going to be Ye in the situation regardless, right? But now Jay-Z kind of came, and I feel like some people was basically trying to say like, oh, now he wants to speak up. Why wasn't when Ye said it the first time and he didn't? I don't really necessarily know if I'm rolling with that. I just feel like that was then and this is now, right? A lot has transpired, you know, since Ye went up there and grabbed the mic from Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is the biggest goddamn artist in the world right now, fam. So much has transpired from that. And a lot of people say that that moment is actually kind of what gave her career basically its legs, right? And she kind of was able to, you know, play into the victim role. And I don't necessarily know how true, maybe subconsciously or maybe unintentionally, that may be the case, right? I do feel like there was a point in time where they kind of did, you know, the media kind of creates these narratives and they did kind of have it looking like Beauty and the Beast, fam. They had Kanye looking like, you know what I'm saying? Basically like how he looks now, right? With a Jason mask on and shit, with a white girl and shit. Vulture's album is definitely out and I'm not gonna hold you. We definitely got some new music to discuss and disseminate later on in the episode. The Vulture's album is, we gonna get to the Vulture's album, right? Let's get back to the Grammys and Jay-Z calling out the Grammys because the Grammys won't give Beyonce one specific Grammy. Because let's be clear, Beyonce does have the most Grammys in Grammy history, right? That's more than Michael Jackson. That's more than Prince, James Brown, Stevie Wonder, and Jay-Z, fam. She got the most. She got more than Kendrick. She don't even write. And she got more than Kendrick. Listen, Beyonce, listen, we're not going to sit here and act like Beyonce doesn't check off boxes when it comes to accolades and Grammys. She has the most of them. So I say all that to say this. Jay-Z might have had his personal reason why he went up there and said what he said. You know, I don't necessarily know. You know, I'm not Jay-Z. I can't speak for Jay-Z. I'm not in the mind of Jay-Z. You know, I definitely was in that Book of Hove, though, all summer. You know what I'm saying? That Book of Hove. I do feel like, listen, yeah, that album definitely should be on the way. Jay-Z going up there and speaking on Beyonce's behalf, I just feel like, listen, like I said, I don't really feel like Beyonce is in a place where she really needs anybody to really speak up for her. I don't feel like Beyonce's in a place in her career where she needs a Grammy. I feel like Beyonce, she beat the Matrix. She beat the game, fam. Beyonce should be basically on her way to happy retirement at this point. You need one more Grammy? Do you really need that Grammy? Does she even feel like she needs that Grammy is the question, right? Because like I said, we're hearing all of these people, yay, Jay-Z, and everybody's saying, basically everybody's speaking up for Beyonce, but how does Beyonce actually feel about what people are saying, right? Are we going to actually have a moment where Beyonce gets to kind of get the microphone and say how she feels? She might not agree with what Jay-Z went up there and said. We don't really know. That might have had that could have started a whole fight in the house, fam, for all we know. They might have fought in the Uber on the way back to the hotel or wherever they was on their way back to. I know Jay-Z is moving around. He got a lot going on right now. You know what I'm saying? They definitely canceled the Roc Nation brunch. You know what I'm saying? So all you dudes that got y'all suits and was ready to get y'all Hove picks this year, fam, it's quiet for you, fam. Shout out to, I've never, realistically, the Roc Nation brunch thing, I kind of don't get it. Realistically, like, I don't really see what, because he does it, every Grammy set, like, he does it around the Grammys, right? Isn't his whole brunch basically kind of like a toast to the Grammys? Am I off there? You do it every year around the Grammys. I feel like, I don't know, man. I don't know, Jay-Z. You on the Grammy board? Do you have a business relationship? Is this something? Can this be a situation, right? And this is a reach right here, right? But as a podcaster, sometimes you got to reach, right? You kind of got to just try to go beyond the surface. I don't really want to go for the low-hanging fruit here on this one, right? I got a theory that somewhere along the line, Jay-Z was conducting business with maybe a few individuals who work, amongst the Grammy board. And maybe this is a situation where bad business may have occurred, and maybe Jay-Z might be a little bit salty over some bad business deals. So, I don't know, fam. I'm just saying, this doesn't really seem like it can't just be over a Grammy when we're talking about Jay-Z and Beyonce. I feel like I've harped on that long enough, though. I want to move past this at this point. The Grammys was last Sunday. It is now February 11th, 2024, which means we are now on Superbowl Sunday. I feel like we already spoke about, I don't really have any. Hold on, fam. Because like I said at the top of the episode, this episode is definitely unofficially brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more. Yeah. So Super Bowl Sunday, February 11th at the time of recording. The Super Bowl is in a couple of hours, fam. I got it is go time in a couple of hours, and I am definitely, listen, man, I'm going to need Christian McCaffrey to have a nice rushing game tonight. I need Isaiah Pacheco. You know what I'm saying? Travis Kelce, I feel like we already kind of know. And if my theory is correct that I had on the last episode about, basically this overly romanticized, perfectly laid out storyline of Taylor Swift winning her Grammy, and then basically in the same weekend, Travis Kelce, I can see it so clearly, man. She definitely gonna be up there. He gonna be the MVP. Come on, man. So with that being said, I definitely got Travis Kelce for over 72.5 yards receiving. That's a easy money right there. And if you don't have Travis Kelce for over 72 yards tonight, I'm not really sure if you've been watching, the Hollywood Inquirer and shit. Extra and all that. You know what I'm saying? E! News and shit. Oh, yeah, Usher. The Usher performance. Yeah, man. Usher is definitely going to be performing at the halftime Super Bowl show. This is definitely something that we have been anticipating, At this point, I do feel like, it's been so kind of like you had so much time to kind of feel, picture and imagine what the performance is going to look like. I just don't like the fact that they announce who's going to perform so early. I do feel like they should hold off on that a little bit. But you know what, though? I guess I understand why they would do that. Because it does give that artist some time to basically, like, Usher put out a whole album, if I'm not mistaken, right? And we going to get to some new music in a few. I ain't have Usher in my new music conversation, but Usher definitely put out a new album. I don't even know the name of it, which is terrible, right? I feel like I should do my due diligence in real time, right? Yeah, let me go ahead and do that, man. I'm going to give Usher that. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, listen, man. You've been entertaining us for so goddamn long. What is the name of this album? Hold on, man. Pardon me, man. Let me pull this up real quick. New Usher album. I'm pretty sure this is a R&B centric vibe. I feel like I've heard a few reviews. So the name of this album is there a name of this shit? Coming Home. Is that the name of the album? So Coming Home. Usher put out a new album, Coming Home. He's coming home. He's coming to the Super Bowl, goddammit. And he's really trying to, yeah. So realistically, yeah. He had enough time to kind of roll out the album and other things, right? So it's really a business move. I see what's going on. Big business, fam. I'm all for that though, right? So we got the Grammys out of the way, right? We recapped the Grammys. Obviously, you know, Killer Mike. They said Killer Mike got arrested because he stole his Grammys. I mean, listen, man, you know. I just feel like this the 50th year of hip hop, you know, here at the E.B.C.G, Willmatic TV. I will not tolerate any slander. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to, realistically, fam, that was funny. It was. When I seen it initially, I laughed. I did. Then I thought about it and I said, hold on, man. Which side am I really on? Because at one minute we talking about, we want things to like we gotta pick a side here when it comes to this thing called hip hop, fam. And we gotta really make a clear decision, right? And I feel like we got a couple heavy hitters on the way this year that's gonna make it real easy for us to make that decision. I feel like Jay-Z is probably one of them though. Not even gonna hold you. And if I had to speculate, coming off of that energy, you know, on that Grammy stage and basically him being up there and, you know, you kind of just seen, I mean, he was actually pretty nervous. It was actually nervous energy, right? So I'm not really sure how that's gonna translate sonically and shit. If we get nervous Hove and shit, a nervous Jay-Z album would be crazy, fam. Just him being nervous. I mean, he said it up there. He said, listen, when I get nervous, fam, I tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not even really sure, like, that low-key might have been a little sub right there. You feel me? We already know Jay-Z is very, very clever with his wordplay, right? He probably got the most double entendres in hip-hop history, right? He's one of them. We know his wordplay is up there, right? So him just even saying that to me is like a rollout kind of vibe. We already seen, you know, the clip that went viral of, you know, somebody basically showing some type of Jay-Z movie getting recorded. I don't know if it was a movie, an album, or a documentary, fam. But I know this. I was at that goddamn Book of Hove all summer, fam. And if that ain't a goddamn album right there. So I'm just saying, man, I feel like we definitely got a Jay-Z album coming really soon. That's probably on the way. You know what I'm saying? He canceled the Roc Nation brunch. Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, did he ever do that before? This is, yeah. I feel like an album is coming. I feel like J. Cole taking a little too long with that fall off. And low key, you might be falling off of my, you know what I'm saying, basically albums of the year prediction, fam. I don't really know what are we doing right now, J. Cole? What are we doing? What are we doing, fam? And if I literally seen J. Cole in the bike lane, I see all them damn clips of J. Cole on his bike riding around Manhattan and shit. I've yet to run into him personally. You know what I'm saying? He probably wearing his mask at this point, fam. I'm the bike lane bully of New York City, fam. I'm telling you right now with a certainty that J. Cole has never been in the bike lane, fam. I don't know where they getting those pictures from. At this point, these shits might be auto AI generated bot. This might be some robotic imagery, fam. These are AI generated, fam. J. Cole is not riding around the city. And if he is, and if I run into him, if I run into J. Cole tomorrow, fam, the first thing I would literally ask is, what are you doing right now? What are you doing, fam? What are you doing and what are we doing? We waiting for this album. We've been waiting patiently. You gave us an amazing feature year for the past 3 years, fam. And low key, he do some. Cole is slick. Like real talk. Like I see what he be doing with all them features, fam. You really trying to like low key. That was an album. Like if you really take all of those features that you giving to other artists, fam, you really giving an album away. If we take all of those features from last year, fam, he on tour with Drake now. Drake got a porno out. Drake has a porn tape out right now, by the way, which also wasn't on my docket. And I'm not even gonna hold you, fam. I'm low-key contemplating editing that out. I don't even really want to even speak. Like I said, this is the 50th year, right? This is the 50th year. And there's just a certain demeanor that I expect from, you know what I'm saying, my hip-hop artists this year that I just feel like if you're not carrying yourself in a certain manner, I don't even really want to talk about you. I don't really even want to talk about you, fam. Drake is putting out pornographic imagery on the internet. J. Cole, they buying jewelry, watches for each other and shit. I'm just saying, fam, what are we doing? Kendrick look like he still in Paris somewhere. He getting ready to do another goddamn runway show or something. I don't know. We gonna need somebody. One of the heavy hitters got to drop this year, fam. Jay-Z might be the first one. Could you imagine Jay-Z dropping before we get a J. Cole album this year? That would be interesting. That's all I'm saying, fam. We might get a J. Cole Jay-Z feature. I don't know what album it's gonna be on. It's probably not gonna be on the Fall Off. The Fall Off is nowhere to be found. New music. Let's get to some new music. We definitely got some new music, man. And listen. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I've been scouring the internet. I'm not one of those people that, you know, you got some people that really go crazy on new music release night and can really sit there and listen to every album that's released on the same night and then have a review for every album the next day. I'm not one of those individuals. I have a very, very specific palette and a very, very specific, you know, way that I like to kind of consume my music, right? So realistically, what I'm saying is I'm still on the Everybody Can't Go Benny album, right? That's really what I'm saying. Like I'm still trying to really like basically consume that and really enjoy that. You know what I'm saying? I like to kind of, you know what I mean? I do my little mixes and I blend and I put them things in between them classics because I like to match them up. I'm not gonna hold you. I'll be matching them up, fam. So sometimes I might throw that Still Dre on. Then I might follow with the Benny and see like, all right, sonically, did this live up to this? And I'm not gonna hold you, man. Listen, man. That Everybody Can't Go Benny album is definitely been in rotation. We got more new music. We definitely got Lil Simz. Yeah. Absolutely. Little Simz, who I'm pretty sure that, you know, Little Simz, I just feel like is definitely an artist who needs more recognition at this point, right? And I understand that, you know, there's kind of this disconnect between artists over in the UK and, you know, obviously here in the States. You know, you obviously have certain artists who are going to basically permeate and translate and kind of break through that barrier. You know, you got 21 Savage, you know, somebody like that who obviously is a unicorn in that regard, right? Obviously 21 Savage, who we found out is actually from the UK, right? You would have never known that if we didn't find this out. If TMZ didn't put the goddamn news report out, you know what I'm saying? That this, immigration went and raided his house or some, you know what I mean? Whatever was going on. Some artists are gonna break through specifically because of their talent or just a unique sound that they may have or look. Or other times, it's not about talent. It's about just, basically how you're able to market yourself to a specific demographic. Little Simz, in my opinion, has the ability and the talent to become the number one most streamed artist in the goddamn world, fam. I've said this before and I'm going to say it again and I'm going to keep saying it. I just feel like Little Simz is a hidden gem in an industry that oftentimes overlooks talent, unfortunately, right? We were just talking about the Grammys and, I just seen I read the winners and I see who was nominated and who. I just feel like Little Simz should be sweeping Grammy Awards. And granted, she hasn't dropped a project yet. Well, she just recently dropped a new EP, right? Obviously, EPs don't get nominated at the Grammys, right? And I feel like, yeah, maybe, But listen, do your Googles on Little Simz, fam. At the end of the day, just do your Googles. Do your goddamn Googles. Little Simz is one of the premier elite. She checks off so many boxes. She checks off all of the boxes. She can get into her. She can really get in there with you and do anything. R&B. She got songs with who is that over there, man? What's that track? What's the track? What's the name of the? Who's on that? Is it Cleo Soul? Huh? The No Thank You album was absolutely a classic album. I mean, she has classics, plural, classics, legitimate classic albums, kind of just sitting on streaming. And obviously she has an amazing, I'm sure her fan base in the UK is crazy. But what I'm saying is this. There's not too many people, I feel like, who are aware and paying attention to Lil Simz. She just put out an EP, right? It's a 7-track, EP. I believe it's titled, what is it called? Drop 7, right? Mm-hmm. So Drop 7 on all streaming platforms right now. And I'm not going to hold you. It does, to me, I feel like this is definitely just, something to keep herself active. You know what I'm saying? Basically just keep herself, afloat, right? Like I just said, I feel like it is a struggle for certain artists to basically translate, What I will say is this though. This is probably not the best introduction. Like if you've never heard Little Simz in your life and this is the first listen, this ain't really the Little Simz that, you know what I'm saying? She ain't really, this is kind of like her and her more experimental bag. I feel like personally, I feel like she in the studio cooking up a classic right now. And these are just some joints she probably already had or whatever the case may be. And she just wanted to just get these out, you know what I'm saying? Just to keep herself, you know what I'm saying, active or whatever the case may be. This is not, it's an EP of 7 tracks, right? I feel like she's experimenting a lot. She's doing a lot more with her vocals. She's doing a lot more melodies. I feel like her singing has improved, right? I could just see the improvement, And if you've been following and you kind of know the music, I feel like if you hear this track, or if you hear this EP rather, you're gonna hear all of those different sounds and basically how she's developed as an artist, right? I feel like let's get to Vultures, man. Let's get to Vultures. We're not gonna make y'all wait any longer for the review. Basically, like Kanye makes us wait for the goddamn albums. Vultures has been, listen, man, it's been a long, drawn out process. We kind of seen the rollout. It wasn't pretty. There was moments of, rage on the street with TMZ reporters. Moments of uncertainty in studios where no music was being played or recorded at all. Just Kanye and a bunch of vultures sitting and watching this man basically self-destruct listen, we finally got the project, and if I'm gonna be completely honest with you, this is one of the most bizarre albums that I've ever heard or received in my life for a lot of reasons, right? Off top, let me just start with this. Sonically, this is probably going to be the best album this year. Let's just keep it 100. Sonically, I don't really think it's going to get any better than this, right? On just a pure sonic level, right? Listen to what I'm saying here. Production-wise, right? Is it going to be the best album lyrically of the year? Probably not. But what I will say is this, man. I got a couple of the joints off of this off top, right? Unfortunately, right? And we got to address the fact that I didn't even get to finish playing the whole album in its entirety, right? Before it was pulled off. They pulled it out. I was playing it and they pulled this. They literally pulled the album off of streaming while I was playing it, fam. Literally right when I found the pocket I needed to be in on the album. Fuck Something is fire. Burn is amazing. Burn might be my favorite track so far, right? I didn't get to that bottom half because like literally they started pulling songs off while I was playing it. I might be able to play it now from what it's looking like. Can I download this? Because I wasn't able to download before. Do it. Yeah, I think we back. I'm not sure if he's adding verses or if he's removing certain shit at this point, right? You can never really tell with Ye what's going on. Obviously, he's a creator, just like I'm a creator, and I completely understand the creative process and how difficult it can be. I'm recording a podcast right now. Y'all don't see what I see, though, before the microphones go on, fam. Y'all don't see what it takes for me to, you know what I'm saying, arrange and set this goddamn laptop up with the docket. Y'all don't really even know what's going on, fam. Y'all don't really know what it takes for the creators to dig deep. We gotta dig deep sometimes, fam. Sometimes you don't even really want to get on the court. Yeah. Some days you want to load manage, fam. As a podcaster, we have load management issues as well, fam. Today not one of those days, by the way. I'm just saying in general, there are times as a podcaster where you don't feel like. I definitely had to come and get y'all this because, like I said, you know, Sunday, man, February, I'm feeling really, really good. The parlays is in. Listen, man. I might spin the block tomorrow, fam, with the Super Bowl recap, fam, depending on what these guys do on that field today, okay? We might be reporting live from, I'm just saying, y'all might get the first visual podcast. If I could hit every parlay, let me make a promise to y'all, as a matter of fact, right now in real time on the E.B.C.G podcast, episode 55, Willmatic TV. If every single parlay hits that I put in, on both Underdog Fantasy and FanDuel Sportsbook, fam. Cause I don't really bang with Prize Picks. So let me get into my Prize Picks beef now. This is the perfect time. I stumbled into it. I told y'all earlier I was gonna get back to it. I actually forgot about it, which is crazy. But somehow I stumbled back on it, right? So Prize Picks is basically they blocked me, fam. They blocked my card. I'm not really sure what happened, fam. But it was a situation where, so they don't accept MasterCard for whatever strange, bizarre reason, right? You would think an app, you know, that's basically trying to develop and grow, and which I do feel like they're doing a great job with, you know, they know who to basically use as advertisers, right? So they're getting they getting their name out there. But what I'm saying is this, fam, you discriminate and you don't accept MasterCard, right? Cool. So I went and found a middleman, and I'm not going to get into specifics, but let's just say I found a way to work around the issue. Fast forward, I got an email, and it's basically a situation where I'm feeling just like it's just a negative energy over there right now with me and Prize Picks, where I just feel like they trying to basically frame me, and I'm just not really with all that, fam. Yeah, I got my card information over there. I just feel like I was upfront and honest with y'all off top. Y'all kind of know what I'm over here to do. I'm not really sure what y'all trying to do with my credit card. It just got a little weird. It just got weird, and I had to get up out of there, fam. I say all that to say this, fam. Underdog Fantasy is basically the exact same thing, fam. So if you having the same issue, just go right over ahead. You know what I'm saying? Underdog Fantasy. Y'all might have to pay me for this ad right here. Low key, this might be the one to get them. Underdog Fantasy is right behind Prize Picks, right? And if Prize Picks is to ever crash, and if they crash out, just know I'm going to crash out if these parlays don't hit, fam. That's a fact. I'm not going to hold you. I kind of went crazy. I'm going to need these guys to go crazy on that goddamn field tonight. Safely, though. We don't want to see another situation. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be specific. And I feel like that would have been offensive if I had said boy name who has not returned back to the field since his accident and shit. I was on new music and we was talking about Kanye and we talking about this Vultures album. Let me see if I can actually play this now though. Hold on, man. I'm talking about it.
I fell in love with you.
I think we back then. Yeah, I gotta definitely finish playing this bottom half of the album. But like I said, man, from what I've gotten so far, I definitely got a few joints on here that I'm gonna be revisiting throughout the year. That's a fact. Like I said, sonically, it's Kanye though, so we expect that, right? I do also want to point out the fact that it does seem like he's back on his, like he got rid of Sunday service and went and got Ty Dolla sign, fam. Sunday service is nowhere to be found. Kanye is on this album cursing. This is like basically like, so if you here for the Sunday service, Kanye, nah, fam, off top. Okay, so it's a little Sunday service vibe in here. But then, we transition and then we end up over here. You know what I'm saying? And this is where the album for me becomes clear.
Guys like us just don't follow the fucking sky, you know?
I mean, listen, man. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? And I do feel like I want to hear other artists on this as well. Whoa. Let's get it.
Let's keep zoning, let's keep floating, let's keep rolling. Girl, I know that it ain't over. In the morning, you'll be running back to me.
I'm not even gonna hold you. At some point, I will be in a Porsche going 180 miles per hour. Just because, like, fam, it's just certain experiences you need. And that's one of them tracks right there, fam. That is a fucking movie. That is a movie. Sonically, that's a movie. And I feel like the whole album is more the same. Burn is definitely. Come on now. That come on right there. New Kanye West, Vultures, Ty Dolla Sign out now. All DSPs. Catch it while you can. Because they will pull this shit off while you are listening to the album, fam. This is a whole fucking bop, man.
Are you not entertained? Who's not entertained by my pain? Who ain't catch a check on my name?
That's about to be on repeat. That's about to be on repeat right there, man. Album is a whole fucking bop. It's low-key probably one of his best albums since, college dropout, late registration. Y'all know early Ye, he came out the gate swinging, right? Dog Fantasy Ye. I feel like it's a little bit of a palette of his whole catalog, right? You kind of sonically get all elements of Ye on this, right? That last track I just played, that was giving me late registration Ye vibes, right? Early Ye, backpack Ye, I want to almost say, right? That 808, that bounce. And then you got Yeezus, you know what I'm saying? You kind of got the Yeezus elements in there, the electronics, it's all of Ye and all of his arsenal on here with Ty Dolla Sign and all of Ty Dolla Sign's, what he has to offer, vocally, which obviously over a Kanye production, I don't feel like they have missed to this day. Yeah, man. So Vultures is out now. I'm definitely looking forward to, I believe he has 2 more projects that he's working on or that he has, completed and, he's getting ready to release, right? So based on what I'm hearing off of this, and for this to be the first of 3 projects, I mean, listen, man, you know what I'm saying? I think it's safe to say that It's Yeezy season. That's all I have for new music. Yeah. Little Simz and Kanye West. Those are the two, new albums that I kind of got in rotation right now. I mean, that's all my palate is allowing me to digest at this current moment. I'll probably spin the block for a couple of these other people. I know it's been a couple of other artists who released some stuff, I'm not naive, I'm pretty sure that did we speak about that? Yeah, Doja Cat, that Jizu verse that she had at Kodak Black. Yeah, Doja Cat snapped on that. I just bumped that again last night, and yeah, she really that might be in conversation for like verse of the year type shit. Like Doja Cat really got her shit off on that Jizu verse. I'm not even gonna hold you. The UMG music label strike with TikTok. What exactly is going on here? What's going on here, man? Huh? They banned, by they I'm talking about the UMG music label. UMG is basically, one of the parent companies who more or less owns more than half of the goddamn music that is getting played and, basically on the internet and specifically on TikTok, which is obviously a popular app right now. TikTok, which is basically an app that is, more or less dependent on, creating moments and, reels and different things that use all of these songs and all of this music. I'm not 100% sure why UMG has decided to ban their music from TikTok. Obviously this is probably, a fiscal decision, right? A financial decision. This is probably a business play here, I would assume. As far as I'm not really sure how this benefits the artists or TikTok here. I do feel like this is kind of like basically just the labels being the labels, man. Modern day slave masters, these, emphasis on masters, right? And, obviously that's a conversation that we hear a lot of artists. That's a fight, not a conversation. It's a fight. And a lot of artists don't win that fight. And when they do win that fight, sometimes, I don't know, you see them lose other fights not too long after that, right? So, I mean, and I'm not even trying to like have that conversation. I want to keep this festive. I want to keep us in high spirits. Listen, we got a lot of money on the line on our parlays tonight. We got other things to think about. It's a very, very stressful. It's a lot of tension in the air. You can feel it. You can cut the tension with a knife, huh? Everybody is gonna be looking at their parlays, shivering. In just a few hours from now, I will be one of those individuals. I really won't though. Cause realistically, I'm kind of like the way I got my shit set up. Like I'm trying to tell you, man. Tonight is the night, fam. Tonight is the night, like Betty Wright. Congratulations to the 2024 NFL Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? I definitely, recorded the episode on the day of the Super Bowl. So, I had to come back in the following day and punch in. I don't like to do this, by the way. But yeah, credit where credit is due. Patrick Mahomes, I feel like definitely has some of those traits of Mamba mentality, right? Just based off of, what I seen yesterday. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the sport, but I am always a fan of greatness. And Patrick Mahomes is clearly on that trajectory. Salute to the 49ers as well, who obviously didn't, they didn't get the win. But at the end of the day, man, listen, man, y'all got to the big dance. I'm pretty sure there's other teams that, would have liked to be in the position that they were in. It came down to the wire, too. That shit went to overtime. But the real loser here is me. Yeah, man. I'm going to go ahead and just, announce my retirement from FanDuel. You know what I'm saying? It's been real.
Damn, son, where'd you find
Held
this?
me down on some days when I really needed it. I appreciate y'all. But at this point, I just don't feel like we seeing eye to eye right now. Underdog fantasy as well. I am officially hanging up my hat. Yeah. I'm definitely you know what I'm saying? About to delete these apps off of my phone. This shit is not working. But no, in all seriousness though, I need a sponsorship ASAP. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and Underdog Fantasy, FanDuel Sportsbook. If anybody over there, if y'all happen to be tuned into the episode, just know that the E.B.C.G. Usher at the halftime show, man. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because we already know the internet is going to do a lot of talking. Yeah, so this is the thing. This is the thing, right? Absolutely amazing performance. He killed it. I actually, I mean, we expected for him to, go out there and, do a great performance. But what I will say is this: definitely didn't expect to see some of the appearances that we seen. A lot of people, we speculated that certain individuals, like, we thought Little John, we assumed Little John might show up. Maybe Ludacris. He had a full, it was like a real Usher concert up there, fam. He got a good amount of songs off, but obviously the moment that stole the halftime show, I'm not really sure if we're going to ever get another Janet Jackson moment at the Super Bowl halftime show, but what I'm saying is this: Alicia Keys in an all red leather Valentine's Day, you know what I'm saying? Macy's mannequin. She looked like, listen, fam, I just seen the post. That nigga Swiss was up at 5 a.m. on Instagram, fam. They had Swiss Beats up 5 a.m. on the gram to clarify whether or not if he was still married to Alicia Keys or not, fam. Obviously, Alicia Keys and Usher's got a relationship and a little, they got a history that go way back in the heyday, right?
I'm gonna just say that the Chiefs and the 49ers, they came to Usher's concert. Okay. And they were able to ball it out or whatever. And of course the Chiefs took it. But let's break down the halftime, y'all. Mm-hmm. I was excited to see, like I said, he wasn't stingy with the stage. Like he shared his stage with people that he had hits with over the past years or whatever. He brought out her. I did her thing. Ludacris, Lord John, Jermaine Dupri, will.i.am, who I thought was Kanye for a minute. But then I was like, I was like, oh.
It's so crazy. I thought the exact same thing. And I was ready to jump up out of my chair and do a backflip, fam. I'm like, hold on, why is Ye out here? Yeah. But one more time, though, man. Salute to Usher, man. Halftime show. This is definitely going to be one of those ones that I feel like they're going to be talking about this. They probably going to put this one up there, high up there, man. This is one of them ones right here, man. You got everything that you know what I mean, could possibly ask for from a halftime show, fam. Performance, routine, outfits, wardrobe. He came out with the skates. He ain't fall. He ain't miss a step. He ain't lose his balance. He lost his balance like one time, but you know what I'm saying? He made it look cool and shit. Like he kept himself up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. So one more time, salute to Usher. You know what I'm saying? For that historic halftime Super Bowl performance. Looking forward to seeing who they gonna bring next. Like who gonna be the next halftime? At this point, I feel like we gonna get Jay. Jay is definitely, after that Grammy speech, we definitely about to get Jay-Z for that next halftime show. No, but in all seriousness, UMG, listen, this is some bully business shit. Like they pulled a bully business move, fam. They pulled their shit, they own it. At the end of the day, listen, they be pulling the shit. I know for a fact. Just me posting certain things on YouTube, fam. My little 2K highlight reels and shit, they copyright me. They flag me for every video I post, fam. Sometimes it be music. I'm not even really sure. They really do own everything. Because sometimes you go out of your way to try to go around that and somehow it still gets traced back, right? So listen, I'm not really sure what this means. Is TikTok gonna have to close its doors? I don't know. I don't really think that I don't know, man. How is this going to affect that platform? I don't really necessarily feel like, maybe this is not something that, we've seen the end of. This is probably something that eventually, people, all parties involved will have to come to a table and kind of, carve out some type of agreement because I do feel like TikTok, as big as UMG and that label is, and obviously they own all of that music, and that's great, and they can pretty much live off of that for the rest of the day. They don't really need TikTok. But what I'm saying is, at the same time, I just don't see how you don't use or try to figure out a way to utilize something that's as popular as TikTok, right? To kind of work in your benefit and kind of, basically everybody wins type of situation, right? In other words, are you just trying to get rid of this platform? Is TikTok just competition now? I'm not really sure, right? I don't know the ins and outs, like I said, right? And what the motive would actually be. I'm sure there's going to be certain artists who are probably not going to appreciate this, right? So, you got that aspect as well. You have a lot of artists who basically got really, really popular from TikTok. A lot of songs kind of went viral and blew up. You got different, obviously, what was the most recent one? 21 Savage and JID. With the what's the name of the track, man? It's slipping me. It is. But this happens to me every goddamn episode. It's literally a song that I literally could just go to my Apple right now. Hold on, because I play it all the time. What is the name? I can't. Surround sound. So surround sound, which is an amazing track. It recently had like a kind of surge and the numbers shot up. So listen, I don't know, which I do feel like that also helps the labels as well, right? If these songs are charting and doing these numbers, obviously the label gonna eat first regardless, man. Y'all got this shit. It's a win-win for the labels, for real. I don't really, with or without TikTok. So I don't know. We'll see how this develops. I don't personally have any I have a TikTok. I posted 3 reels, fam. And I'm cool on TikTok. It's just a little weird how it, the interaction is kind of just like you're just forcing people in your, what I'm saying? At a certain point, it's just like, all right, fam. I didn't need the notification to know that, what I'm saying? This profile that I scrolled by earlier just posted, what I'm saying, their lunch and shit. It's just a little too weird for me. It's just a little too, what I'm saying? It's just a little bit too much on my plate right now, fam. I don't really need those notifications. I don't. So if TikTok goes down, what I'm saying is the E.B.C.G is going up regardless, fam. I don't really feel like I need TikTok. I don't really feel like I'm shooting at that basket right now. But some of these artists are, though. Some of these artists ain't gonna be happy about this news right here. I'm pretty sure of that right there. Yeah, it's only up from here for the Everybody Can Go podcast. Once again, I would like to say I appreciate you for tuning in. You could have been anywhere else on the internet. Realistically, though, let me give myself a little bit more credit than that. Because, yeah, sure, you could have been on the Food Network. You could have been on World Star Hip Hop. You could have been on YouTube. You could have been on a lot of different things. But what I'm saying is this. When it comes to this podcast space, right? And when it comes to, because listen, I study my field, right? One thing I do, and one thing that I'm always going to do, and the one thing I've always been is a student. But I study the field, and I kind of been, taking a look at everything that's been going on, man. I just feel like realistically, when it comes to the independent podcast space, not the Joe Buddens of the world, not the Gilly and Wallows of the world, obviously, right? Who obviously have already garnered a certain level of fame and then transitioned into the podcast. I'm talking about the ones who actually started with a microphone and a dream. All I had was a mic and a dream and a docket, and it just seemed like ain't nobody really doing this thing like me. I don't really see it, is what I'm saying, right? A lot of y'all out here, man, and I'm studying my field and I'm paying attention. And I need some water. Hold on. Is this microphone on? Are we clear? Let me make sure hold on. I know the quality, you know what I'm saying? I don't want y'all to think that I'm just talking on the, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I hate to say it, but you know, there's certain podcasts you tune in and it's just like, fam, I'm not really sure like what I'm listening to right now, fam. There's a difference between recording a podcast and recording yourself having a conversation. Now I'm going to leave that gem right there. Now you can walk by it or you can pick it up. What's going on in the NBA right now? What's going on? What's going on, man? Actually, what's going on in the WNBA? Because Juju Watkins. Before we get to the NBA, let me just take this time to acknowledge and salute a young player who I feel like is WNBA bound, and as a matter of fact, I feel like she's WNBA ready. And I'm talking about Juju Watkins. Juju Watkins is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And I know that there's a lot of young up and coming, you know, female basketball talent. I feel like we're seeing a similar to the podcasting space. We're seeing a big boom effect in the world of basketball when it comes to female basketball players. I feel like, you know, you got Angel Reese, you know, Caitlin Clark, so many of these young players who are basically trailblazers and kind of setting a new standard. You know what I'm saying? You got NIL deals and, you know, these players are basically getting paid pre-WNBA, right? Which realistically, fam, do they even really have an incentive to even want to go to the next level if they're already getting paid, right? I feel like Juju Watkins is the one, though. I seen those highlights, man, of her the other day. What she scored, like 70? She put up something crazy over there the other day, and the numbers aside, the points that she scored, that was great. But I'm just talking about from a pure basketball player perspective, right? I'm talking about she might be NBA ready. You know what I'm saying? Like some of those moves she's doing out there, fam. Her game is completely developed, and it's a different. I feel like it's gonna be something that we probably never really seen in the WNBA as of yet, right? So I say all to say this: I'm looking forward to the debut of Juju Watkins in the WNBA, whenever that is. By the way, she should be ready in about a year or two, fam. If not tomorrow, Juju Watkins is ready. But is Klay Thompson okay? We transition now into the NBA. You know what I'm saying? And realistically, I feel like Klay Thompson at this point, it's just starting to, you know, it's just like, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Do you still want to hoop or nah at this point, fam? Do you still want to hoop or nah? Klay Thompson, post-game locker room scrum was disturbing. That was disturbing, fam. Let's just get to it, fam. He had a post-game interview the other day, and listen, man, obviously Klay Thompson hasn't been playing the best. We kind of get it, right? And listen, even the greats get into certain slumps, and, you know, you might not be performing at your best, and you might feel a little down and out, but that might last for about a game or two, maybe 3, 4. We'll give you 4 if you're physically ill. If you have some type of physical illness or injury, we'll give you 4 games, fam. At this point, Klay Thompson, you know what I'm saying? This dark energy, this dark cloud that you got over your head, my brother. You walking around with your shoulders slumped down, your head is down, your demeanor, your posture's not up. You're not you're not making eye contact with Steph. You're not reading the plays. You're not in the right spots to shoot the goddamn ball. What happened to Klay Thompson, fam? This is a different guy. This is not the same player at this point. I'm not even sure that they might not even hang his jersey up in Golden State, fam, if he keep this up. If you keep this up, fam, they will not You will not see your jersey up in the Raptors, fam. They will completely disregard. I'm being facetious. I am, right? And that was actually blasphemous, what I just said. They're definitely going to hang Klay Thompson jersey up. Listen, I'm not that naive. I'm being facetious, and I do still feel like Klay Thompson is a great player. I'm not really sure what is going on with him currently. Maybe it's just he needs a change of scenery, right? Which, if that's the case, I feel like there's several teams out there that would love to have you, right? As long as you willing to kind of change your attitude and change your approach to the game, fam. We need to see some Mamba mentality out of Klay Thompson, fam. It's just not there right now, fam. Did you that locker room post game? What did he say? He sat there and he basically was holding back tears, fam. Like I said, it was hard to watch. It was disturbing. It was absolutely disturbing. Draymond had to try to chime in and cheer him up. And you know what I mean? You know Draymond going locker room leader. That was literally like we literally watched the two players who are basically that need to be traded, right? These are the two players who are basically that need to be in a package right now. Like these are the two anchors holding the Golden State Warriors back. I mean, we sitting here watching a soap opera. Draymond in there trying to cheer you up and bring you. I just feel like at this point, fam, I'm not really sure what's going on. The trade deadline has passed, though. The trade deadline has came and went. So whatever opportunities the Golden State Warriors had to make, upgrade their roster and get some goddamn pieces around Steph. I mean, obviously they no longer have that option until the offseason, of course, which is where I do feel like we will see some big moves made. I would be very, very shocked. And as a matter of fact, this should actually be a FanDuel. Like, do they have bets for like a player who's least likely to return in this jersey next season? If there's a parlay for that, I got Draymond and Klay easily for two players who will not be on the same team next season. They should do that, by the way. I'm gonna have to look into that. Might have sent an email or something. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. I'm over here. Listen, man. I do podcasts. I do it all, fam. I'm a jack of all trades, man. The E.B.C.G. Willmatic TV. We're winding down here because at this point, if you couldn't tell, I'm losing my whole voice right now, and this is terrible. It is. The trade deadline has passed. I feel like let me see what's going on with the trade deadline though, man, because I feel like there was some big moves that were made that I didn't quite get to, right? I feel like Buddy Hield definitely ended up in Philly. I definitely caught wind of that one. He got traded from Indiana. So let me see trade. I'm just gonna say trade deadline 2024, and we're gonna see what's going on. Yeah. Golden State didn't make any big moves. It's crazy though. I'm not really sure what the plan is there, right? What if they end up winning the chip though? Wouldn't that be? This would be the one. If they ended up pulling this off, fam. They are the greatest franchise in history, in sports history, fam. Not just basketball, sports. So what we had? So we had the Pacers. Pacers made some moves. They got Corey Joseph, a 2025 second round pick via Charlotte. Some cash considerations, okay. So the Pacers definitely, picked up Corey Joseph. Salute to them. Right? I don't think that was worth of an air horn though. I went to go for the air horn and I didn't even have it up on the screen. But realistically, fam, Corey Joseph to the Pacers. The Celtics received Jaden Springer. I'm not sure who that is. 76ers picked up a 2024 second round pick. Okay, let me see. Let's get to the good ones, man. The Blazers, that's not. The Kings pick up Robin Lopez with cash considerations. Okay, that's interesting right there. Robin Lopez, a veteran. Didn't he? I thought he retired though. Didn't he? Which one of the? Oh no. I'm thinking about Gasol. The other, they got the other brothers over there Pau Gasol, and you got Marc Gasol. Marc Gasol definitely announced his retirement from professional basketball. So we want to go ahead and just take this moment to salute him for all of his contributions over the years. I've never had him on no parlays or nothing like that. So, you know what I'm saying? Realistically, this ain't really nothing that, like, I'm pretty sure I'll be all right. But no, salute to Marc Gasol, though, for an amazing career. So, the Grizzlies waive Oladipo. So, yeah, this is interesting, right? So, one of the things you have to look out for during this trade deadline thing is a lot of these players that get picked up don't necessarily stay on those teams that pick them up. So obviously Spencer Dinwiddie, right? And it just dawned on me that that's probably the biggest trade that took place during this deadline is Spencer Dinwiddie getting traded to the Toronto Raptors initially for Dennis Schroeder, who I do feel like is a good player, decent point guard, solid point guard, right? And I do feel like I can see why the Brooklyn Nets would prefer him over Dennis, or pardon me, what is this guy's name, man? Dinwiddie. I can see why, they made that move to pick up Dennis Schroeder. I feel like you do get some, I feel like he is a bit more active, a bit more fast-paced. I feel like he might be able to see the floor a little bit better. More of a traditional point guard, basically, than Spencer Dinwiddie. But I do feel like at the same time, though, Spencer Dinwiddie, listen, man, it didn't take too long. It didn't take too long for Robert Pelinka to pick up the phone and make the call, because we definitely seen that photo surface of Rob Pelinka, you know what I'm saying, basically doing some insider trading shit. You know what I'm saying? Some what is that? What's the word for that? When the GMs basically interference, like they literally had the meeting at the game. So Spencer Dinwiddie is now a part of the Los Angeles Lakers, which I do feel like, for his sake, is a really, really good thing. Because I still don't, I'm not one of those. I can't get on the Lakers bandwagon, man. I just can't do it. I don't feel like, I don't know, man. I don't feel like they didn't watch enough Kobe highlights or something, man. They just not really, the inconsistency is just not really there for me, right? And I do feel like at this point, LeBron James should have never. I am one of those people who feel like that LeBron going to the Lakers was a mistake. Personally, I mean, listen, when you think about it, yeah, he got a championship over there, right? He did the bubble, right? But it's just like it was not. They don't really, the bubble. What would Kobe have said about that? Like, when you really think about it, fam, Kobe would have laughed at that championship, fam. There is no goddamn way. The bubble. So you came over here for this? Really? You've been struggling ever since, fam. You turned your whole goddamn facial hair went gray. LeBron James is over there aging and getting old, but still hooping, which is crazy, right? So they stressing him out, fam. It's not like he's physically getting old. That's all mental stress, fam. From him trying to basically create a franchise from scratch, man. Like, the Lakers is not it anymore. It's just not it anymore. They got that statue out there, though, in front of that Crypto.com arena. So from that standpoint, you know what I'm saying? We appreciate the arena because obviously now they have immortalized Kobe Bryant with the statue, and we are definitely anxiously awaiting the reveal of the other two statues, right? Which I believe Gianna, his daughter, is going to be featured in one of those, which I'm looking forward to that. They have a photo of Kobe and Gianna. It's like a mural over there by the Barclays Center. Anybody that, if you've been over there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I make it a point every time if I'm riding my bike and I go by, which is pretty often, especially when it's warmer, I salute that that mural like it's a statue, right? So in my mind, that's our statue of Kobe in New York City, right? And I truly do hope that they never remove that. I feel like there's just certain things you can't remove, man. I mean, yeah. So I say all that to say this. Looking forward to seeing the other two statues. I'm not really sure how I got back on Kobe. We started the episode with Kobe, obviously. We give Kobe endless flowers, right? Mamba forever. The Mamba tape, my tribute to Kobe Bryant is out now on YouTube. Speaking of passing by the Barclays Center, right? Because we were just talking about, obviously Kobe's mural that's placed so elegantly over there across the street, adjacent to the Barclays Center. And, it's so ironic that I even mentioned that because, I definitely have on my docket here Kyrie Irving, who recently just made his return to the Barclays Center. We kind of seen how that whole situation played out with Kyrie, and the whole trade and demanding the trade. And, obviously things didn't really work out over there at the Barclays Center. Kyrie, KD, James Harden, the big three, it was so much promise. It was so much hope. So much talk, so much speculation, so many goddamn New York Post front page articles. But we fast forward and we get to where we are now and where we are today. And where we are now and where we are today is, well, Kyrie Irving is a Dallas Maverick. And, at this point, I might have to just get the Kyrie Dallas Mavericks merch, fam, at this point. Kyrie Irving is over in Dallas looking like the goddamn, the best wingman ever and shit. Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving as a duo. That is a dynamic scoring duo. And they might be in the conversation. If they could keep this going, I'm not really sure how long Kyrie plans on staying over there. You know what I'm saying? And basically, him and Luka and this dynamic duo that they got going on. But Kyrie Irving, I digress. Because this ain't even about the Mavericks right now. It's really not. It's not even about the Mavericks. It's not about Luka Doncic. This is about one person and one person only. This is about Uncle Drew, Kyrie Irving, returning to the Barclays Center to completely dismantle the Brooklyn Nets. He completely annihilated their entire bench, the roster, the whole starting five, the whole team, fam. Kyrie Irving just had one of his best performances that I've ever seen. I mean, that return game in Brooklyn from Kyrie was something special. Man. And at this point, NBA 2K, y'all just look funny in the light at this point. Is Kyrie over? Is he really a 87 overall? Did I see that correctly the last time I checked? Because Kyrie Irving, they got him. In my career, they got him getting traded and bounced around the goddamn league. He on the Wizards right now, which is crazy. I tried to make a trade request. I can't even make a trade request because I put in another trade request before that I forgot about. So the GM is still working on that trade. Kyrie Irving is an 87 overall on the Washington Wizards in NBA 2K24, my career. I just watched him go to the goddamn Barclays Center and light the whole goddamn stadium up, fam. That was an absolute masterclass. What a performance. It was absolutely, I mean, he checked off every box. I mean, listen. The putback dunk, it wasn't even a putback. It was an alley. The alley-oop, who threw the oop? Was it Josh Green? Josh Green is not even a passer, fam. He caught an alley-oop from a non-passing player and cocked it back. We have never seen Kyrie Irving dunk the ball with that much intention. I haven't. We already know that he can dunk. We've seen him get up there before. But my point is this, fam. That might be in conversation for... That could have put him in contention for being one of the dunk contest competitors this year, fam. He might be in the dunk contest Just off of that one dunk. That is one of the dunks of the year, fam. Are you kidding me? Kyrie Irving above the rim and then the cock back. Was that on Nick Claxton? That was on Nick Claxton, who was their center. So he did that on their center. I mean, listen, man. I just feel like, yeah, that was absolutely a masterclass. I mean, I couldn't be happier for Kyrie, man. Just to see how he kind of was able to just keep it pushing, man. Just keep it pushing. Listen. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I hear all the talk. I see what's going on, but I'm just gonna hoop through it, fam. And he has the talent to just be able to kind of do that, fam. And you see now it's kind of quiet now, right? You don't really hear them really. Now it's just kind of like, damn, like he's actually really good, this guy right here. Like we probably really had him, listen, I feel like, it is what it is. It is what it is. The off season is going to be interesting though. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of movement. A lot of teams are going to be making some big changes. I definitely hope that the Dallas Mavericks is one of them, fam. Because if Kyrie plans on staying over there, I just feel like we got to definitely upgrade that bench. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of they picked up who did they just pick up though? They did pick up somebody, PJ Washington. Yeah, from Charlotte. So they made some moves before the deadline. They got PJ Washington over there now. I do feel like he's a player who is kind of just like just another role player. You know what I'm saying? They already got a role player over there that do what he do over there. I feel like Josh Green is kind of like they do the same things, no? I don't really know his game either, though. So I will have to kind of just see how that, they kind of know what they're doing when they usually make these trade requests, right? And there's certain players that have certain things that it's not necessarily even something that may translate on the stat sheet, right? But this player might just know how to run this scheme the best, or he just knows how to, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that we need for this specific role, right? So, with that being said, I think we all for NBA. I think we all for the Grammys. I think we pretty much done with this episode. I'm looking at the clock right now. Okay, we just about at that 2-hour mark. Another 2-hour episode back to back. I want to go ahead and just air horn for me. You know what I'm saying? Cause I don't even know where I pull them from sometimes, man. Sometimes I don't know. Like I said, sometimes, what I mean? You don't even really want to do this, man. Sometimes you might be feeling like, you know what, man? I just gave them a classic. Do I really need to come back a week later and give them another one? Like, y'all could go, like, you could literally go back to episode 1, right? Because this is episode 55. I got a catalog of this. I got a catalog of just me schooling y'all on how to do a podcast, fam. At this point, I gotta just start popping my shit. Cause realistically, fam, you can't sit around and wait for no flowers. Like, and that's the one thing, like, I'm just on some shit now where it's just kind of like, fam, I'm taking everything that I deserve. I'm not waiting for nobody to give me anything. Yeah, Everybody Can't Go podcast, E.B.C.G. You already know what it is. We getting ready to wrap this thing up here. We spoke about a lot this episode, man. We really did. We spoke about Kobe off top, getting commemorated with his statue outside of the crypto.com arena. We spoke about the Super Bowl, we spoke about FanDuel parlays, we spoke about the Grammys. We recapped and we spoke about Killer Mike and Jay-Z. We spoke about new music. We spoke about a lot. But the one thing that we didn't speak about was that Monique Club Shay Shay interview. Yeah. Another one. So this the thing. Shannon Sharp, at this point, we just gotta call a spade, and we gotta just acknowledge and give credit where credit is due. Shannon Sharp has positioned himself, and we watched him do it. he has positioned himself as the premier microphone and seat, to come and sit down and have a conversation with at this point. Club Shay Shay is definitely the best podcast out right now. We gotta just call a spade, man. And realistically, that's just what it is right now, man. The Joe Budden podcast is great. But you know what I feel like is different with the Joe Budden podcast? I feel like when you have other people around you, when you're trying to do a podcast, it then becomes a conversation, right? And I do feel like there is a difference between recording a podcast and recording a conversation. I feel like what Joe Budden is doing is he's recording a conversation. What I'm doing right now is I'm doing a podcast. What Club Shay Shay is doing is he's recording a conversation. And he's recording conversations, and I'm not gonna hold you, man. He started off the year with a bang, right? He came out smoking, he came out swinging. The Cat Williams interview obviously lit the whole entire internet. It lit the internet on fire, right? Had a lot of people talking, a lot of different names was called. This Monique interview, I'm not even gonna hold you. I mean, it was basically the Cat Williams interview. I mean, I want to say part 2, right? Just with a female, right? I feel like Monique and Cat Williams are basically two individuals who are basically in very, very similar, situations. I mean, Monique even said it during the interview. She basically said that that's her twin, basically joking, saying that her and Cat Williams are twins because, I mean, essentially, when you look at their careers and you kind of see basically everything that they basically had to navigate through to get to where they are today, they kind of do have identical careers to a certain degree. I feel like they both got an Emmy, right? Well, no, Cat Williams got an Emmy. Monique got an Oscar, right? Hold on, fam. Yeah. Hold on. Let me slow down. It's levels. It's definitely levels. Monique got the Oscar. Cat Williams got an Emmy. Nonetheless, both still prestigious and, successful in their fields. And obviously, Cat Williams is a comic genius. I feel like Monique is a comic genius. The Club Shay Shay Monique interview was a absolute. I mean, I learned so much, man. I did. And I thought I knew a lot about Monique. I knew a lot of those things that she spoke on. Obviously, a lot of the things that she spoke on during the interview were, pretty much a lot of the things that she's been speaking on, right? Monique has been very vocal, similar to Cat Williams, who has been very vocal over the years about, kind of basically what we don't see. And, when the cameras are off, right? And, what Monique does differently, what I'll say is, she does something a little different, though. Cat Williams, he's going to come and he's going to talk about this stuff and he's going to say what he has to say. Whereas with Monique, I feel like she does go a little further with her, the way she basically details and, disseminates information. She'd be the first one to tell you she has the goddamn receipts, man. She has receipts. She got telephone messages, text messages, telephone recordings. I'm losing my pod voice, but it's cool. We gonna pod right through it. I'm not even gonna sip the water that's sitting right there. I'm not. Cause at the end of the day, fam, let me sip some water. Hold on. Pardon me. Where it's just like you just can't go any further. You gotta just acknowledge the fact that as a podcaster, we do have limitations, fam. And as an actor or as an actress in Hollywood, they have limitations as well. And there's certain things that they just won't allow for themselves to, basically be taken advantage of. And it's certain situations that obviously, you got to make a decision. you have to make a decision, right? Do I want to be in a field where, in order for me to scale and, basically be the best in my field and to be held in that regard, I have to set aside core principles and values that basically got me to where I am, right? And if I didn't have these core principles and values, there wouldn't be any Monique, right? These are the things that actually developed and basically made me who I am. So how can I now abandon these things now just because now you're showing me that, oh, this is a shiny trophy. If you'll win Oscars, you'll win. But I'm gonna win those anyway. I'm talented, right? And at the end of the day, fam, when you actually really have talent, it's gonna be kind of hard to really. I say all that to say this. There was a lot of different things to take away from this interview, fam. I learned so much. I have a different perspective. Like Tyler Perry, as far as Tyler Perry, I can never speak highly of Tyler Perry ever again. You know what I'm saying? Like the studio and all that. Like I don't care. And realistically, fam, what's actually going on in that goddamn studio over there? This big ass studio that Tyler Perry has, man. Because from what I'm hearing, and if we were to take anything away from this interview right here, I mean, Monique was very, very clear about the stuff that she was saying. And obviously, listen, there were several accusations made. There were several statements made. I mean, she apparently has receipts. Shannon Sharp was sitting right there. Apparently, even Shannon Sharp, he's seen some receipts. He heard some telephone recordings, right? Obviously, before the interview, before they went on air, I guess Monique basically, kind of showed him a couple of things, right? Obviously, he got to, he got to keep certain relationships in order because, listen, I got the #1 podcast out here right now, fam. I'm trying to get as much people on this thing as possible. So he kind of has to play he had to kind of make a decision right there in real time, right? And he kind of kept it with Thou Wow for the most part. Like, yeah, you know what? I did hear and see that Monique was on there saying some strong. Listen, man, there was a lot of stuff being said about Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels. Lee Daniels is actually the only one who's exonerated himself, and actually did it. I believe he actually apologized or, he made things right. And he acknowledged, his wrongdoings in the situation, which essentially is all Monique was basically asking for, throughout the entire interview, Yeah, she was very clear about, saying what she had to say about, her experience in Hollywood and how basically, more or less, she's been robbed of her reputation, right? Robbed of her reputation, robbed of millions of dollars, generational wealth that could completely change the dynamic of, her entire family, her entire household. These are all things that I feel like anybody would feel slighted. You know what I'm saying? At the very least, feel slighted that, something like this can occur. Obviously, these are things that are happening behind closed doors. I feel like she's trying to be, listen, at the end of the day, somebody got to speak up. Somebody has to speak up, right? And she found herself in a position where she had to, basically, or maybe she was forced into being that individual, right? We don't really know exactly 100% what exactly is taking place. I ain't hear those conversations and I ain't see those receipts yet is what I'm saying. And I'm saying yet because I'm pretty sure at some point some of this stuff is going to have to get out on the internet, right? You know what I'm saying? How long is she going to be able to kind of hold those things over there? I found out some things during this interview. This was actually a very, very good interview. I learned a lot about Monique. I feel like they did Shannon Sharp. He did a much better job. I feel like he learned from his Cat Williams interview, and you could kind of see that play out in this one. He did a much better job of kind of picking his spots, and he had much better questions. Like he completely improved and stepped his game up, right? So yeah, 100%. Salute to Shannon Sharp. He did an amazing job. this is probably going to be another one of those interviews that, goes up there in numbers as far as, views. The last time I checked, I believe they was at 4 million. Let me see where they at right now, actually. They got to be at 6 right now, right? Because the more shares, it kind of, the way it works is, the more people that share it, those clips keep going, and 10 million views right now. So I undershot it. That shit got 10 million views, man. Listen. Another one for Shannon Sharp and Club Shay Shay, fam. Salute. I'm definitely, couldn't be happier for Shannon Sharp, man. Because, Skip Bayless, I know, listen, I'm sure they about to probably do a whole nother recasting over there, fam. Like, I don't really think this is working right now. That he gonna go find another muscle, a trailer explosion. Right. So yeah, apparently one of the things that I pulled away from this interview that I thought was interesting, to say the very least, right? Obviously Monique was very vocal about basically being, more or less lied on, right? And, obviously, when you kind of make it a point to take a stance, to kind of stand on the opposite side of the majority, right? I'm not going to, I'm going to be the person to basically go against what everybody else is doing, right? That's not an easy stance to take, right? So when we get to a point where now your trailer on set explodes, I'm just saying, she didn't say it, but I'm saying it. Fam. Is there a possibility that Monique escaped a whole goddamn assassination attempt, fam? Monique sat on that damn Club Shay Shay interview and she said a lot. She said a lot more than what I'm getting ready to hit y'all with right now. But all I'm saying is this. I couldn't get past the fact that she said that she was on the set. Obviously, well, she told a story first about basically how, was it Lee Daniels? No, Columbus Short, who also, another black filmmaker in Hollywood, who, you kind of see portrayed one way on screen, but, you hear stories like this and it kind of makes you scratch your head. But apparently there was a situation where Monique got into it with, his assistant in a trailer on the set of a film that he was directing. Fast forward, Monique didn't like the assistant's tone. She wanted to check her tone. That assistant then went and got Columbus Short, rather, then comes in and it's a whole confrontation / disagreement. And then you get from there and you fast forward and then she says that the trailers blew up. I said to myself, like, wait, what? How? First of all, I didn't even hear about this. Like, this wasn't even on TMZ or anything, fam. They didn't report this. Monique's trailers blew up. I've never even heard that happening. The only time I've ever heard of this happening, literally, was on Punk'd, fam. When they blew up the Roc's trailer for that one skit, fam. Which even that was kind of crazy. Even when you fake doing this, it's a lot of work that goes into getting that. So what I'm saying is, was this just a freak accident? Or did fucking Columbus Short, like, who, we gotta really just, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just a lot of things going on in Hollywood that obviously we're just not privy to, man. And anytime you get an opportunity to get a Cat Williams or a Monique to sit down in front of a microphone and just basically expose some of this shit, I'm just all ears, man. I'm all ears, and I'm all eyes, fam. And I'm glued to whatever it is that they're saying. I will be paying attention. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have to watch this interview again. I only got to watch it one time, and it wasn't really a complete. Like, I kind of was distracted, basically, right? So I picked up on most of it, but this is something that I definitely will have to revisit. And I do believe that Monique will be, Is she gonna be joining Cat Williams on tour? I believe that she's gonna be joining Cat Williams on tour, actually, which, you know, obviously salute to Cat Williams, who is out here, you know, doing numbers on the road. I heard a rumor, as I say that, I don't know how true this is, but is it true that Kevin Hart is supposedly announcing, or did he announce some kind of comedy tour extravaganza, basically parallel to some Cat Williams city dates or something along these lines, basically essentially trying to basically have some type of comedy versus, but like only in regards to ticket sales and shit. Like, he don't really want to get on stage with him, but he want to get on stage with him. Like, he want to kind of outshine him when it come to the box office. Like, fam, you keep going and sitting down and talking about what you're doing. I'm about to pull up to the city and show you. Is this really what's happening? Is that a real thing? Is that a real report? Cause I will say this. I'm gonna give Kevin Hart a point for that. If he's able to kind of go and basically show that, you know, physically I'm selling more tickets than you, I feel like we got to give him a little, you know what I'm saying? We got to give him a point for that right there. You know what I'm saying? You ain't really do nothing crazy to get the point, though. This kind of like a little, you know what I mean? You might have caught a little putback or something. It was already on the rim, fam. But we're going to give you a point by default, because at least you trying to do something at this point, right? Because you've been quiet for too long, letting this man just kind of have his way with you on this microphone. At least fight back is what I'm saying, right? You know, speaking of fighting, and you know what? Actually, before I even get to that, I do want to mention the fact that Mos Def, Yasin Bey, has been confirmed to be working on a collab joint album with The Alchemist. So, I mean, yeah, we spoke about new music earlier, but I did want to mention that because I feel like that's noteworthy, and we're going to revisit why that's noteworthy on a later episode. I'm pretty sure of it because I've been hearing things, and I'm sure y'all been hearing things too. But y'all seen Bey in the studio with The Alchemist right now. Just if anybody was inquiring out there, I'm just saying, if there was any rapper out there that just happened to be in their feelings or something like that, Yasin Bey is in the studio with Alchemist at this current time. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. I definitely want to also mention the fact that it is official. Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia will face off. This has been made official. They have struck a deal for a fight that will take place April the 20th in Las Vegas. I see what they did there. April the 20th. Okay. Smart marketing. In Las Vegas for Haney's Junior Welterweight Championship. So the Welterweight Championship will be on the line. This is confirmed. This is not a rumor. Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia will face off April the 20th in Las Vegas. I couldn't be happier. And like I said, you know, like I said on the previous episode, man, we definitely just have a lot to look forward to this year, right? We already got a Kobe statue, you know what I'm saying? Which obviously is bittersweet because, you know, we wanted him to kind of be able to see that. But, you know, nonetheless, it's still a great moment, historic moment. We got music, and like I said, we definitely gonna have some big fights, and this is definitely a big fight. This is looking like, you know, They actually definitely, there was a confrontation, wasn't there? Was a whole confrontation. So yeah, if you had any doubts that this was actually taking place and that this was a real thing, Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia basically had a confrontation. I'm not really sure exactly where this was. But it resulted in, so hold on, let me go ahead and just pull this up real quick, man. Yeah, it got a little physical right? So here it goes right here. Let me see. This is courtesy of Fight Hub TV.
Don't do that for sure. Don't do that.
Okay, so what it appears to be was there was some type of photo shoot that was getting ready to happen.
You're not my friend. Remember that. You're not my friend. Your dad's a pimp and he pimping you. Your dad a pimp and he pimping you. I'm gonna beat 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 you. I'm reading everything. You saw. I already know you whack now. Your dad can't talk for you. Your dad can't save you.
Everybody know you really whack. You're whack. You're whack. No, you're whack in real life.
That was whack.
Okay,
that was whack. You soft, bro. You soft. You soft. Soft.
I never been soft.
We seen that video when Tank beat your ass. Floyd showed me. He had your ass.
I beat the.
Oh, stop. I seen the video. I seen the video. You ain't gonna do shit. You ain't gonna do shit.
Okay.
You look like a ghost right now, bro. Ghost, you getting pale for real, bro. You getting pale for real.
Crazy? Are
You
you
are
crazy?
soft, bro.
Are you crazy?
You are so
Okay.
soft. I can
Okay.
see
We'll
your
see.
breath
We'll
is
see.
just. I can
Okay.
hear you.
We'll see.
You're
We'll
not
see.
like that, bro.
You're not like that.
Fear is getting
You're
to
not
you.
like that.
The fear is
You're not
getting
like
to you.
that.
The fear
I
is
just talked to
getting
you
to you.
last week.
The
You're
fear
not
is
like
getting
that.
to you.
I just talked to you
The
last
fear is
week.
getting to
You're
you.
not like
The
that.
fear is getting to
Okay.
you. I told you gonna feel some
Okay.
fear, right?
Okay.
Didn't I tell you that?
What?
Didn't I tell you gonna feel some fear you ain't felt? Don't you tell? No.
Look, hey, watch out. You turned your back. You turned your back. You turned your back.
Okay, so yeah, we looking forward to this one. We're looking forward to this one, man. Yeah, they definitely, apparently they have a little tension going on, and that's always great. Whatever issues they may or may not be having, man, we just looking forward to seeing them getting inside of that square circle and settling those differences live on pay-per-view, April the 20th. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, I think it's that time again. I think I just gave y'all another 2-hour classic. So I'm going to go ahead and pack this thing up, ride off into the sunset, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and get ready to frantically, kind of watch this Super Bowl as I simultaneously manage my parlay screen. It's going to be an exciting night. It's going to be an exciting year. Mamba year, right? Let's be above average this year, right? Everybody could get on the court and shoot the ball, but let's actually develop some skills, man, and let's try to come out here and get on this court not just to be on the court. You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be that individual. We've all seen it. You come to the party, he got the whole goddamn regalia on, fam. He's sleeved up. He got both sleeves on, left and right sleeve, fam. Knee pads on with the headband. But you got one move, fam. You're a one-trick pony. You don't have a skill set, do you? No, you don't, fam. Get back in the gym. Get back in the gym and work on your craft. Just work on your craft, man. Be good, be great. Be above average. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all already know what it is. Willmatic TV, until the next time. 1.